Let's get it right. 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 You already know what it is, man. It's your boy Dilla T. And this is No Filters. Always appreciate you hitting that like button for me. Subscribing to the channel so you don't miss an episode. And sharing this with the world. And of course, family, when you come in, get comfortable. Get you something to eat. Get you something to drink. Get you something to smoke if that's what you do. Because you see the title, family. Woo! Let's get into this here.
All hell continues to break loose in Minneapolis as the Trump regime is surging additional Gestapo, SS, paramilitary forces, call them what you want. Trump's ICE and Border Patrol, they're bringing those numbers up to over 3,000 in Minneapolis just by reference. The Minneapolis Police Department has like 600 officers. The tactics being used by the Trump regime, spraying chemical weapons at protesters, pepper balls, tear gas, flashbangs, brutally assaulting peaceful protesters. We're seeing terroristic tactics on display, and the corporate news is not covering the size and scale of these peaceful protests in Minneapolis, tens of thousands of people, nor is corporate media covering the brutal terroristic tactics by the Trump regime. But I'll tell you who has been covering it, and it's been an honor for us to partner with them. Status Quo News has been on the ground, as they've always been on the ground during these protests, capturing what's really taking place. And I want to remind everybody, make sure you subscribe to the Status Quo YouTube page, subscribe to their Substack, join Status Quo. It's like $5 a month, and it helps them get their reporters on the ground. Let's take a look at what went down. This was yesterday evening, where the cameraman for Status Quo, he was taping the peaceful protest when he was struck in the leg by a flashbang that ICE fired at unarmed protesters. And you can hear Farina say, "My leg is hurting," after getting hit in the leg by a flashbang. Here, play this clip.
John, you could show that scene there.
We're hearing flashbangs going off. Hearing flashbangs going off. Tear gas has been deployed here outside of the Whitnall Federal Building. Tear gas filling the streets here as the agents move forward. Firing noisemakers, firing tear gas. I heard the telltale sign of the pepper ball guns going off. I got hit with something, my leg is hurting. Where'd you hit that? I'm worried about you.
I got hit with one of the flashbangs.
John's telling me here that he thinks he got physically struck by one of the flashbang grenades that the agents deployed.
And then JT Sostowski, the reporter who you heard there, checking in on John Farina, who was hit by the flashbang. Sostowski then gets hit by 2 rounds of pepper balls. Watch this.
This is so disappointing to see, so I will stand up for it, because never let journalism stop.
Yep. Agents there are firing more pepper balls. I was struck twice there, John. Got shot with 2 pepper balls myself. First of all, are you okay?
Yeah. They threw it right at my fucking foot. They don't care if they're hurting people. They do not care if they're hurting people, because their only agenda is to steal people. It's just to steal people and keep them detained. It doesn't matter if you're a U.S. citizen. I've been here for 60 years of my life, and they probably take me because of the color of my skin. They're not judging you based off your citizenship. They're judging you off of accents, anything that doesn't justify their political gain.
Wow. Then earlier in the day, ICE agents attacked Minneapolis peaceful protests outside the federal Whipple building there, firing a mix of pepper balls, pepper spray, and tear gas. Watch as JT Sostowski reports. Let's play it.
Oh, the agents moving forward now, pushing the demonstrators off the road. Few of them holding pat.
And we're seeing here the use of pepper spray and the firing of pepper balls. See, I'm not coughing right now. Myself and John have donned our safety equipment so that we can continue to breathe and protect our eyes, because them spraying that pepper spray, shooting those pepper balls, picks up a huge cloud of chemical irritants into the air that affect not just the person that the federal government is aiming at, if those agents are even.
Then you'll see multiple ICE agents dogpiling on protesters as other agents yell, back up, back up. Sostowski reports. Let's play it.
You're seeing there some of those agents there holding those pepper guns, the pepper spray that we called out earlier. But now I'm seeing even at least one agent who's got wearing the tear gas canisters on the front of his vestments. So it goes to show they have that ability as well, beyond the pepper spray and the pepper balls that we saw deployed out here earlier. And as the federal agents now advance, telling the folks to move back. You're seeing them there pushing and arresting one of the protesters, actually two of the protesters now being arrested out here. Being arrested. Multiple agents dogpiling on those protesters as the other agents come forward and yell, back up, back up.
And then you see here a car drive by laying on its horn and giving the finger to the Trump administration and its immigration enforcement agents. Let's play this clip.
And you see in here a car drive by laying on its horn and giving the finger to the Trump administration and its immigration enforcement agents. Another here driving down, holding out a sign. I cannot see what the sign says. Another is a whole convoy of vehicles that are also against the federal government rolled by as part of this demonstration that was met with cheers from the crowd.
I want to bring in JT Sostowski right now, the reporter who you saw there on scene. It's great to be with you, JT. Talk to us about what you saw on Saturday and Sunday. You and I have been in touch throughout your involvement being there, covering what's happening in Minneapolis. What have you seen? What does the progression look like?
The progression over the days since the Trump administration shot and killed somebody here in the city has been one of snowballing protests, rising momentum here on the streets. Yes, on Saturday, it was tens of thousands of people in the streets here demanding justice, demanding that the Trump administration remove its now 3,000 agents that they're deploying here to the city. You cannot turn a corner without tripping over ICE agents, it seems. We went out in previous weeks when we had been tracking what the Trump administration was doing here on the ground. The trouble was always finding where the agents work. They drive around in unmarked vehicles, masked. They do their utmost to try and avoid notice. And it was always about trying to identify where they were. This time, now, it's the complete opposite. The problem is that there are so many agents in so many different neighborhoods here, nearly constantly, that we were finding ourselves constantly pushed and pulled between various different neighborhoods, ping-ponging around the city, trying to hone in on where the greatest amount of suffering was being meted out here in Minneapolis, and eventually ended up in St. Paul today. And tonight, we saw the Trump administration using a hair trigger on the deployment of force against peaceful protesters who showed up outside of the federal Whipple building to protest against this administration. That federal building is where ICE and other Department of Homeland Security agencies are coordinating many of their efforts here in the Twin Cities area. So it's become now a little bit of a magnet for these protests. And the Trump administration, I mean, you see there from the clips, I mean, there is no rhyme or reason to when and how and what force they are using on these protesters. It is agents who have a budget that may as well be functionally limitless. It's billions upon billions of dollars for all of the weapons that they have at their disposal. And since they have them at their disposal, may as well use them. And that's what we're seeing out there.
You know, you had 2,000 ICE agents already there before the murder of Renee Nicole Good, terrorizing and provoking the community. Then after the murder, they now surged another 1,000. It may even be more than that, both ICE and Border Patrol. Now, I think we have the video of this as well. I'll show it to you. I know you were by that target and other journalists and reporters were by this target at Midway, where you had Greg Bavino show up in there ostensibly to use the restroom. There's a police department down the road. He didn't need to do that, but they showed up in the target to really harass the shoppers and to make a whole scene there. Let me just show you a short clip of someone who was in Target and captured what happened, and then let's talk about that. So let's play that clip right now.
Is this what your parents should be proud of? Huh? You guys are fucking bombs.
What are we doing, man?
You guys are fucking bombs. All of you fucking bombs.
What are we doing?
Fucking bomb. You're a bitch. And if your wife is, I'll probably fuck her too. You guys are all bitches. You can't do shit to me. You can't do a thing. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out. Nobody fucking wants you here. Right, get the fuck out. Walk the fuck out, you stupid bitches. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You fucking coward. You're a fucking coward.
You know, and they terrorize the communities. They go around and they want to provoke the people in the community, right? I mean, that's why when I say they're engaged in terroristic behavior, I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, I mean, what you're seeing there, Greg Bavino, the leader of so much of the Trump administration's terror campaigns that it's waging here in the Twin Cities, but before that in Charlotte, in Chicago, in cities across this country. Greg Bavino wants that moment. He wants the cameras. So you heard me describe how ICE agents in so many of these neighborhoods roll around in unmarked vehicles trying to avoid notice. They'll go around in sometimes one vehicle or groups of just 2 or 3 vehicles at a time. Greg Bavino rolls around with an entire entourage. It is a long convoy. It is easy to find. He wants it to be easy to find. They want the media attention. They invite it. They make themselves intentionally easy to follow because they want to be seen causing this terror, because they want these communities to be scared. The pain is the point, is something that I have continuously stressed. They want the pain, and then they want it visible to produce their propaganda, to one, feed red meat to their base, and then 2, to try and intimidate these cities into submission. They shot and killed a woman here. They shot and killed a woman here, and their response was not to be humane or to reevaluate their strategy or to reflect inwardly on themselves and ask, is there something we can do to protect the sanctity of human life out here? Instead, they doubled down. They sent 1,000 more agents. They added to the spectacle. They've added to the pain.
And it's not like their escalation is matching an escalation in violence or an escalation in some conduct by the people that requires the escalation. What you've been able to document, and it's why it's so important what Status Quo's doing. These are peaceful protests. Sure, the numbers of the peaceful protests have grown in the thousands, if not the tens of thousands, and we've seen how big the crowds are. But, I've seen videos of Somali women handing out food. I've seen people singing songs, and yeah, occasionally you'll have people cursing and people getting upset and saying F ICE or this or that, which they have a First Amendment right to do. But I've never seen in the videos anybody, and you've been embedded in there, engaging in assaultive conduct towards the ICE agents or engaging in behavior. It's been the opposite. ICE is attacking these crowds, and then people get nervous and they don't know how to react to getting beat. And so those are the scenes you're in there though. I'm watching what you're doing. So talk to us about that from the inside view.
But the escalation there at these scenes, I was so struck when we first arrived at the Whipple building in those clips that you played of all of the tear gas being deployed and all of the pepper balls being fired. When we first got to that scene, we had heard that the agents were doing that, but when we first arrived, it was calm. It was calm. There was a little bit of chanting, but it was calm because those agents weren't standing, just feet from the protesters. The protesters were standing on one side of the street, and the agents were nowhere to be seen. They had pulled back into the parking lot of the Whipple Federal Building. And when those agents aren't directly confronting those protesters, the protesters are calm. When the agents come out and put their presence there, well, then the protesters start to chant a little bit louder. When the federal government then goes ahead and uses taxpayer funds against the taxpayers and deploys all of those weapons, well, those protesters, they feel cornered and they feel like they have no other recourse other than to react with further shouts, or the most that we saw the other night, the most we saw there outside the Whipple building was people throwing snowballs. They started to throw snowballs at some of the passing federal vehicles, just a couple of them. But that was after they have been repeatedly tear gas, pepper ball, sprayed with pepper spray, and they'll throw a few snowballs. And in way too many instances, the media ends up framing it as both sides used force in a sense. Like that's the way it'll be played out in so many different outlets out of this, because we've got a shot of the federal government using force on this side, and okay, here's a shot of a protester throwing a snowball on the other side. So look, who's to say who's right here? But when you're on the ground and you see it play out for hours and hours, you see that pattern of escalation. This is what the Trump administration wants out here. They want that direct escalation because they want to be able to, one, paint the protesters as rioters if they can, and two, they just want the excuse to be able to brutalize, these people who live in a blue city in a blue state.
JT, I want to remind everybody that they need to subscribe, or they should subscribe to Status Coup on YouTube, subscribe on Substack, and they should join and become members because, I know you're humble about it too, though, but let me say, you put yourself in harm's way. Your camera crew puts himself in harm's way. You're out there covering what corporate news isn't covering. And so it's been an honor to partner with you guys and to share what's really happening with our audience and introduce our audience to y'all. And everybody should know the great work you're doing. So before we go, I want to give you the chance to also talk about Status Coup and the work you're doing there, and just any final message you have for all of our audience watching.
My final message is one of gratitude to your audience. We've been truly humbled by the response, the love that we have been shown, the support that we're getting for this on-the-ground reporting that we're doing. Before the killing of Renee Good here in Minneapolis, there was not much being talked about in mainstream press about what was happening, at least in national press, about what was happening here in Minneapolis. But we were on the ground here for weeks. We've been here on the ground for weeks, and that's costly. All those clips that you just played were gathered by John and I today, and there's more that we didn't show because, how can you show every moment from multiple hours of live streaming plus all of the reporting we were doing today? But that's just John and I here on the ground with the support of some of our teammates who are back home. But we're at this point now where our only limit is just the number of hours that John and I have in the day, and we're trying to grow at Status Coup. We're trying to add people to really take our coverage up to the next level. And so if people want to be part of a truly people-centered movement here, of people-centered journalism, please go statuscoup.com/join. For as low as $5 a month is all it costs to keep John and I fed, keep us on the ground here, and then add a little bit to expand our team and continue to document the abuses that the federal government is meting out.
JT, thanks for the work that you, John Farina, the entire team at Status Quo is doing tireless work, important work right now. And thanks everybody for watching here. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as we grow to 6 million subscribers. And thanks for watching, and spread this message, spread this video so people out there know the truth. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MidasPlus.com.
There's news. Fox News alert: an unlawful assembly declared in Minneapolis after thousands of anti-ICE protesters hit the streets in response to the fatal shooting of Renee Good.
The situation turning violent, with one group attempting to breach a hotel where they believe ICE agents are staying.
Matt Finn is live on the ground in Minneapolis with the latest. Matt, good morning. What are you seeing there?
Well, Rachel, it's quiet right now, but really just a few hours ago, not far from where I'm standing, things turned violent and got pretty dicey. A large crowd of protesters and rioters surrounded a hotel where they believe immigration agents are staying here in Minneapolis. Our Garrett Tenney was on the scene last night. He said a smaller group of the protesters broke into the depot in downtown Minneapolis, tossing around the furniture inside, while others were spray painting anti-ICE messages on the windows. Now, outside, the protesters were playing instruments, banging drums, and blowing whistles to prevent immigration agents from sleeping or getting rest. Our Fox affiliate reports police declared an unlawful assembly sometime around the 10 o'clock hour. Now, yesterday, body camera video showing some of the final moments leading up to that ICE agent shooting of Renee Good was obtained by Fox. Let's watch that full video.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad. What? Show your face. I'm not mad. That's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former. You want to come at us? I said go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
Oh!
Now, Vice President J.D. Vance says that body camera video shows that the officer shot Renee Good in self-defense, but the Democratic mayor of Minneapolis here, Jacob Frey, he is condemning the federal agent.
He walked away with a hop in his step from the incident. There's another person that's dead. He held on his cell phone. I think that speaks for itself. I can see a person that is trying to leave. I can see an ICE agent that was not run over by a car. That didn't happen.
So DHS sources, including a senior official, tell Fox News that about 1,000 additional agents are on their way here to Minneapolis, scheduled to surge this city. There's already roughly about 2,000 federal agents that have already been here, so it's very clear that DHS is placing its focus on Minneapolis-St. Paul right now. You know, last summer I covered the raids in Los Angeles. Of course, Fox covered everything that went down in Chicago, also New Orleans. Right now, the focus is on Minneapolis-St. Paul. And Border Patrol tells me the more immigration agents that are on the ground here, boots on the ground here, that frees up HSI investigators to investigate the ongoing fraud. That's the backdrop of all this. That fraud scandal that we've been reporting on, that's also happening simultaneously in addition to the immigration enforcement. So back to you guys in New York.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks, Matt. And I think it's such an important point. You know, obviously somebody is paying for all of this stuff.
Yes.
These people are working for people, and our top priority should be finding out who it is that is funding all of this stuff. But as Matt points out, crucial to understanding all of this is the fact that the timing of all of this. You know, you have supposedly liberals, Democrats care about feeding the children and care about these programs that they came up with to feed children and educate children, Somali children in Minneapolis. And then suddenly, as we're uncovering billions of dollars of theft that had been going on in all of these programs by people who are connected to politicians like Ilhan Omar and Tim Walz, then suddenly all these protests break out over what appears to be an incredibly sad situation, an incredibly unfortunate situation, but one where an officer was doing nothing more than defending himself.
But it is tragic. and sad, but yet you need to look at what Jacob Frey, the mayor there, says I should get the F out, and I think Jacob Frey should deal with the other F, and that are facts. Renee Good, this mother who has lost her life, got there by inserting herself into federal immigration law enforcement. Fox has confirmed that she was part of a group called ICE Watch that monitors, tracks, and interferes in federal immigration law enforcement with ICE on the ground. We know also through our reporting that she went to 2 other locations the same day before she got to the third one, and in both of those previous cases, she also used her vehicle to obstruct. You cannot obstruct. It is against the law to obstruct federal immigration law enforcement. She did so by putting her car there. The second thing she did wrong is when she was instructed by law enforcement to step out of the car, she refused that. And then the third thing, which Jacob Frey isn't acknowledging, is she used her car speeding towards the agent, striking him, as we now see on the tape, and yet he won't do that. And the real tragedy here, Rachel, is that this dishonest mayor, Jacob Frey, is literally been saying that ICE is here to kill you. What's that done? It's caused Minnesota public schools to have this narrative, to believe this narrative, that maybe ICE agents are going to come in the school and kill you and do something horrible, so much so that now they're going to, you guessed it, remote learning. The AP got this email from Minneapolis schools saying that Minneapolis schools are offering remote learning as tensions rise over federal immigration enforcement.
That's right. They're using this as an excuse to basically go remote and put their social justice ahead of the education of our children. Of course, this isn't the first time we've seen this. We saw this all through COVID. I want to go back just a little bit to talk about this woman who was shot and killed. We're going to learn more about who she is, what she was doing there, why she was being paid, and who was paying her to be a professional protester. This is a woman who lost custody of 2 of her children and then dropped one off at a daycare so she could go and participate in this kind of activity, taunting ICE, interfering with these lawful operations that ICE is doing. And the question is, how did she get so radicalized? It's not just who's paying her. How did she get, what's going on with liberal white women? And by the way, these are the same liberal white women, I think, who are, moving kids to remote learning in the Minneapolis schools. There's something happening, when they poll them on happiness level, no one scores lower on happiness than liberal white women. Also, no one scores higher for mental health problems than liberal white women. And so there's something else happening culturally, and there's something, as you said, that's being pushed by the mayor and other leaders. They obviously have a very strong political objective. As you said, get off the topic of the Somalis and the billions that are wasted that possibly are being laundered overseas and brought back into Democratic coffers. Let's stop talking about that, and let's talk about ICE. We don't know why exactly this woman was out there, but I guarantee somebody's paying her to participate.
So to clarify, there's a lot of reporting out there. We don't know the custody of the children thing is debatable. We don't know the actual facts. The facts we do know is that she belonged to this ICE Watch group, which claims to be legal observers. But if you are a legal observer in a protest, and I've covered hundreds of protests, they don't get involved. They don't insert themselves in the middle of it. So setting aside the details about her that we know and don't know, we do know she belonged to this group, and she was acting on what they wanted to do, which was ultimately to get in the way of ICE, who, by the way, has a legitimate right and obligation to be in Minneapolis because it's a sanctuary city that does not turn over violent, criminal, illegal aliens, which started to be let in mass by the millions when President Biden took
Well, can I just say this? Legal observers. Notice again, when they elect legal observers, not during elections, but we'll pay you to be a legal observer and actually an agitator, interfere in this ICE thing. But
we don't like enough. Mayor Frey, who it seems to be disappointed that the ICE agent wasn't injured more. Maybe if had the ICE agent been severely injured, he would have been
and he'd been injured before and had stitches for this kind of behavior. So obviously it's going to be a a little bit wary about it. Meanwhile, in
defend himself.
Yeah, of course, his right to defend himself.
I'm Steve Ducey. I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
I want to turn now to this, a social media post from our team at Fox 5 in Atlanta, in which they say that anti-ICE protests are being held in Atlanta and Gwinnett County following the fatal shooting of Renee Good, a Minneapolis mother, by a federal agent on last Wednesday. Joining us now to talk about those local protests is Fox 5's Mark Teichner, who has more on this story. Mark.
Yeah, good morning. We had a number of protests throughout the weekend, as you can imagine, here in the Atlanta metro area. Sunday alone, there were 4 of them, including one on the bridge where I'm standing right now. Sunday afternoon, protesters make noise and hold signs on Midtown Atlanta's 17th Street Bridge that can be seen by drivers on the highway below. They're upset over the Minnesota killing of Renee Nicole Good at the hands of an ICE agent, as well as the Trump administration's immigration enforcement and foreign policy.
I think the unrest we're seeing right now, it's swelling all over the United States. We see protests not just here in Atlanta. This movement is only growing.
Hours later, another large group of protesters marched in downtown Atlanta, going about a mile from Hurt Park on the Georgia State campus to the Atlanta ICE field office.
It's unbelievable what's happening today, and it needs to stop. And I'm encouraged so many people showed up today at the last moment.
Anti-ICE protests in both Marietta and Lawrenceville also drew dozens of people.
We need to take a stand. We need to stand up for the principles this country was founded on.
Protesters hope Good's death, which Trump officials call an act of self-defense, brings awareness to what they believe is an out-of-control ICE enforcement policy that makes the country less safe.
This seems like a galvanizing point because it's so obvious, because there's all this video of that this was a shooting of an unarmed person who was simply driving away.
The protesters say that they will continue their efforts until that ICE agent is criminally charged and they see a change in the Trump administration's immigration enforcement efforts. I do want to point out that so far, at least here in the Atlanta metro area, none of the protests have had any form of violence, nor have we seen any arrests. Reporting live from Atlanta, Georgia, I'm Mark Teichner for Live Now from Fox.
All right, Mark, thank you so much for your time as you cover those protests happening down there in Metro Atlanta. I do want to take us out to this live image that we have over downtown Atlanta here as I read some more of this reporting, because again, these protests not just seen in Minnesota, they are seen in cities all across the country. Now, in Atlanta specifically, another demonstration had taken place on 17th Street and that bridge where Mark was just reporting from. That protest consisted of a couple of dozen people lined up on the bridge while chanting and holding signs. It was organized by the Party for Socialism and Liberation Atlanta. That last protest took place outside of the ICE field office in downtown Atlanta, where protesters chanted using bullhorns, marched from Hurt Park on Georgia State's campus to the office. And protesters in Atlanta say they believe the video shows Good was just driving away. So that is really where we're having back and forth with this entire situation. Several videos from witnesses that were at that scene have come out, and still protesters taking to the streets over the last several days.
DHS taking action and sending 1,000 more Border Patrol agents to Minneapolis as protests in the Twin Cities and beyond heat up over the ICE-related shooting. Here to react is Minnesota Congressman and House Majority Whip Tom Emmer. So great to see you this morning, Congressman. Thanks for joining us. Obviously, there's a lot. You've got a lot going on back at home there. What can Republicans in Congress do to find out who is fomenting all of this violence?
Well, it's Charlie. It's sad that Minnesota's in the news for this.
The world protest.
But I don't know that we have to do much more. All you got to do is watch. You've got Tim Walz literally sounding like Jefferson Davis. Our governor is saying, we're at war with the federal government. He claims that he can call the National Guard out. They want to tell people to go ahead and protest, but what they're literally doing is encouraging more violence, whether it's our governor, Tim Walz, who's been a complete failure, or it's our attorney general, it's Mary Moriarty. We've got a Hennepin County, that's Minneapolis, Charlie, prosecutor who wants to do her own investigation now. Keep in mind, this is the same prosecutor that withheld exculpatory evidence for a Minnesota State Patrol officer accused with excessive force. What does that mean, Charlie? She wouldn't share it with the court. She got caught hiding evidence that would have, and it did. It ultimately ended in dropping the charges. But in this case, you don't have to go very far to look and see who is fomenting all of this violence. And to claim that these people are peaceful, Charlie, they're yelling, save a life, kill ICE. That's not peaceful, and that is not appropriate. Tim Walz should have come out right away and said, everybody be calm, withhold your judgment. We know that this is a very sensitive matter. Let law enforcement do their work. Then the director of public safety should have been on right after that. And instead of giving a list of what you can do to peacefully protest, quote unquote, he should have come out and said there will be no violence, there will be no property destruction. If you do that on our streets, we will hold you accountable and you will be arrested. So just be on notice. None of that happened. And then you got a boy toy mayor, somebody who's not mature enough for the job, yelling the Effenheimer about getting ICE out of his city. It's very clear who is fomenting it. And another big story that broke last night is the Minneapolis Teachers Union announced that kids, because this is a tough time, Charlie, kids can learn virtually until February. Right. Wrong message, wrong behavior, and it's the reason why Minneapolis public schools have lost 20% of their students in the last 5 years, and they're expected to lose another 6,000 in the next year.
And of course, also falling dramatically in terms of reading and math results as a result of that remote learning. What is it about Minnesota voters that they keep returning people like Jacob Frey and Tim Walz to office?
Well, they're two different things. I mean, Jacob Frey, his electorate is way to the left. I mean, remember, they had a candidate that was referred to as Mondami from the Midwest. So this is what they're dealing with. And he's not a leader. What he's doing is he's running in front of a violent mob and he's saying, follow me, Charlie. He's not saying anything that a leader would say to control his city. Tim Walz is a completely different thing. Tim Walz is a statewide candidate that barely gets over the line. I don't think people realize in the last election, he only won 13 of 87 counties. And in the 74 counties in greater Minnesota that he lost, Charlie, he got 37% of the vote. Minnesotans are waking up. They are sick and tired of this political nonsense, whether it's Tim Walz, whether it's the mayor of Minneapolis, whether it's the Minneapolis Teachers Union. And I just have to throw in one more. The Star Tribune, the main paper in this state, should be ashamed. These guys are trying to get ICE officers killed. They are proud of the fact that they doxed the officer who, that unfortunate lady who decided she was going to do this, who she hit and who she harmed. They put his name and his picture in the paper and they're celebrating it. They're trying to kill these people.
Well, it certainly is a grave situation, and I hope that we somebody grows up and puts an end to all of it before more people get injured. Tom Emmer, thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe.
I'm Steve Ducey. I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
In the meantime, I do want to talk more about these protests, the situation in general, and de-escalation tactics. I want to bring in Adam Swart, the founder of what's known as Crowds on Demand. And it's exactly what it sounds like, a company that's been around for more than a decade, providing everything from paid protesters to hired paparazzi and fans. Crowds on Demand helps organize rallies, demonstrations, PR stunts, and a whole lot more. Adam, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
Josh, pleasure to be.
All right, and first off, the big question that I want to start by asking you before we get into those de-escalation tactics. Now, we are talking about paid protesters and demonstrators with your company, but we're not talking, and I do want to make this distinction, about folks who are violent and confronting ICE officers screaming at them, correct?
Well, Josh, that's a very clear distinction to make. Crowds on Demand does not engage in any unlawful forms of protest. That obviously includes violence and vandalism, but that also includes blocking a road without a permit, right? That is an unlawful form of protest. We are a law-abiding American company. We have no interest in doing that. We live in a country that celebrates First Amendment expression, that gives us the right to lawfully protest. There's absolutely no excuse or reason to protest unlawfully.
And you have been tracking all of this here, of course, as your company was created. Can you kind of break down how the use of maybe paid protesters and demonstrators has changed kind of over the last decade or so?
Well, it is troubling that there are some groups that appear to be using paid demonstrators to create chaos on the streets. Some evidence of that includes like the bricks that people have been distributing on the streets of Los Angeles, tactical gear, right? When you see people distributing mass tents that look all the same, it's obvious that there's money behind it, but that's not money behind lawful expression, that's money behind unlawful expression. So I've noticed that more and more groups are wading into that. Crowds on Demand, and I have sought it myself to be a part of the solution, not the problem. So I've been outspoken in the media saying, yes, we need protections for protesters, and we also need protections to make sure that that protests are lawful, right? There can be no law and order without justice. There can be no justice without law and order. And I feel that that very much applies when it comes to protests.
And what you're looking at right now is some of the video from the past several days coming in from Minneapolis and other cities as these protests draw. We're talking hundreds upon hundreds of people, and some of these videos actually show people outside of one of the hotels where those ICE agents and officers are believed to be staying. So things getting a little complicated there, and at some points becoming actually violent. So based on your experience, what are maybe the core best practices for de-escalating these protests that go on for days and days like we've seen here?
Well, number one, Josh, is that de-escalation is a two-way street. It helps if both the authorities and the protesters are interested in de-escalation. Number one thing that I like to do, if there is any tension, is to try to develop a point of contact on the other side. So if you're leading a protest, right, what you wanted, and you feel that the officers are not being fair in dealing with your protesters, then escalate it. Find a higher level officer, find a chief of police, a captain, a lieutenant, and advise them that while you respect the law, we also kind of insist that our First Amendment rights be respected, right? Similarly, if you're the authorities, you need to, and you feel that the protesters are going beyond the pale of what is legal, right? Then try to develop a liaison with someone in the protest group, if possible, who is reasonable, who can negotiate. So in the incident that was viral, right, with this awful killing, right, the ICE agents could have attempted to reason with this person, maybe find someone else in the protester group and say, well, look, can you tell her that she's got to get her car out of the road because what she's doing is impeding federal officers and she could face serious charges if she continues, right? So giving people the opportunity to retreat from a situation, to extricate themselves from a situation, is a very important part of de-escalation. And I am not seeing nearly enough of that, both either by authorities or by the protesters.
Talking about transparency, things of that nature, accountability, all of that, how does that factor into de-escalating these situations before they do escalate into violence?
Well, one part of transparency is, again, it's giving people kind of forewarning that a protest is going to happen. So we're talking about, of course, still a lawful protest, but if you advise authorities, if you're going to have a 200, 300, 400 person protest in a residential neighborhood, advising authorities that this is what we're going to do, can also help, because when what I've seen is that the most problematic incidents are often when the protest sort of shows up by surprise. There's a small number of officers, they feel overwhelmed, and that sometimes leads to officers being more rash in their decision making. So part of it is you asked about transparency of giving people warning. Moreover, on the officers' side, the officers should be very clear. Number one, giving people the opportunity to exit a situation, drive away, leave, right? But number two, being transparent about saying if you say this is what is going to happen, right? And be very clear, speak with respect, speak with dignity.
As you watch kind of these protests come together and you see there are
Jesse, the mission is not going to stop.
Chief Border Patrol Agent Greg Bovino is here. All right, Mr. Bovino, I have this agent's back. I understand why he discharged his weapon. Should he have been in front of that vehicle?
Jesse, thanks for having me tonight. It's good to see you. Jesse, every situation is different in immigration enforcement and any law enforcement action. So where that agent was at, as far as what was happening on the street, many different things happening, many different individuals protesting, agitating and things like that. So it's not out of the realm for that agent to be where he was at. I was out on the street today, Jesse, with the agents, and many similar situations occurred. Luckily, they didn't result in something like that, but absolutely agents are in a very precarious situation. Every single day they're out there on the streets. These agitators are out of control, as you said during your monologue, out of control, and they will do almost anything, it seems, to try to stop our mission.
Is the mission being stopped because you guys are showing so much patience? You're showing so much restraint. We showed video just last night of a woman bum rushing you and hitting you. I mean, how do you do your job under these circumstances?
Jesse, the mission is not going to stop, and it hasn't stopped. We've got thousands of agents in the largest Department of Homeland Security mission.
Chris, in the building, where you been? I hope you had a good weekend.
Thousands of agents here in Minneapolis and across Minnesota conducting this mission, so it's not stopping, and that professionalism is on display every day. I tell you, I am absolutely amazed at the restraint and the professionalism that ICE, Border Patrol, and all those allied law enforcement agencies provide every single day.
Oh, really?
Especially in the face of hundreds of violent agitators, violent mobs, rioters, you name it, those agents are subject to that every day. It's almost like a running battle for a 10 or 12 hour shift, a running battle all shift long. And hats off to the ICE and
family first, my dog, and I'm with you. And we fam too.
Operations that the country voted for. It's a shame. It shouldn't have to be like that. You anticipate that people are going to start throwing themselves in front of cars. You anticipate there's going to be more blockades. They're going to get more aggressive. Do you guys have the strategy, the resources to be able to handle this?
We do. President Trump and Secretary Noem ensure that we do have those resources. We have exactly what we need to make Minneapolis, Minnesota, and all the cities across America safe for Mom-Pa America, Jesse. We're going to do that. And
real quick, you need to know what's going on. But before you do that, hit that like button, subscribe right now, become a member today. It's all free. Make sure your notification bells is on all when you pull up. You hear me? Ruth said, what's the topic? I said, protests worldwide. That's what's going on right now, Ruth. Protests worldwide. Minneapolis, Atlanta, and other places. What kills me or has me thinking even more is that when George Floyd passed away, it was one-sided. When Mike Brown passed away, it was one-sided. When Sandra passed away, it was one-sided. Trayvon Martin passed away, it was one-sided. You see where I'm going with this? A lady at one of these protests was saying that the fact that black and brown people being killed, as if that was crazy. But yet now they're killing white people. And she said, if they killing us, then we have nowhere to turn to at this point now. Now let's be real right quick. She low-key was disrespecting me and mine, is what she was doing when she said what she said at a rally. That is the most disrespectful thing you could say at a rally amongst white and black people. That's out there standing for a white woman that was shot in the head, by the way. But you have the nerve to get up here and protest and say something like, black, brown done got killed and now they killing whites. We really don't have nowhere to go. As if it was all good that me and my people was getting hit up and bust down and y'all thinking y'all was still safe because they was knocking my folk and me type of people. But all of a sudden that they hitting you and yours, or you telling me now ain't nobody got nowhere to go, huh? That's disrespectful as that thing. I feel bad for what happened to Renee and her family and her people. But on my mama, I don't care about none of that when you disrespecting me and mine. As if we just a doormat. Who just said shut up? If I knew your real name, I'd come to your doorstep. Watch your mouth, motherfucker. But it's sad that if me and mine was just getting hit, that was cool. But now that y'all getting hit too, oh my God, nobody has nowhere to turn. Cause white people getting hit now? Ain't nobody got nowhere to turn? As if it was cool that mine was just getting hit so everybody's still safe. I just named 5 names that died. Nothing. And that was just 5 names I just named that died from nothing. St. Louis. Mike Brown. Say his name. Hit that like button, subscribe right now. Somebody about to get shit smacked out of them, I swear to God. Forgive me, Lord, but I'm telling you, stop playing with me right now, dog.
And I'll tell you what, we're working for a dream team that gets us the resources that we need when we need them. So, you know, it's a matter of us being aware every single minute of every single mission that we're on. Every single minute, our heads are on a pedestal, and we're very aware of what's going on. And you know, we're arresting a lot of bad people and bad things here in Minneapolis. That's not going to stop.
Good. Well, God bless you guys. Please stay safe. It's dangerous out there. No one knows that more than you. Greg Vivino, thank you so much for your service.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.
Good afternoon. I'm Rochelle Bilal, the sheriff for the city and county of Philadelphia. And I say her name, Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good. This should not have happened, but we're here today. Let know that law enforcement professionals, real ones, not the fake made-up ICE, probably trumps a new army to attack citizens of the United States. Did you hear what I said? No law enforcement professional wears a mask. None.
And shut up too, because this little stupid ass dude named Callie talking about Renee didn't do good. Shut up. Because you know what else is sad? When something happens like this, the first thing they do is go to your life and try to discredit you. Breonna Taylor, thank you so much. They try to go to your life and just try to discredit you as if that is okay to just kill you. Y'all finna tell me right now I'm seeing certain stuff in her and y'all just running it about Renee, but you don't even know her. Anybody in here talking about her, you don't even know her. Just like them other 5 names I just named, you don't even know these people. So how would you that's watching me, how you gonna talk about Renee? You going off something you heard. You don't even know her. But it's just funny how she's unalived and yet you gonna say she wasn't a good person because she was against ICE, or that because she was one of those that stand on business and not receiving the fake police that's coming in to bogart their life and their rights. So now you're going to say, oh, she's nothing because she was against that? By all means, she should have been. Ain't no way. So if that had been the case, I would have thought it was nothing. But the fact that it's just, y'all ain't shit. Mama K in the building, it's great to see you. I pray you're okay. But I'm just telling you, man. Like, why would y'all do that? You don't even know this lady, but let that have been your mama. Yeah, let that have been your sister, stupid. You will be over there crying, weeping, just hurt. Not a good mom. Yeah, and you not a good mom either, or a good daddy either. Yeah, don't nobody know your personal business and what you've been doing in the late night hours or in the daylight in front of everybody that don't know what you on. So that's the point I'm saying, fam. Leave it alone, because you don't even know her. So don't talk about it, because you don't even know her. And whatever they put out on her, it don't matter. Because again, she was unalived by an ICE agent, just stood in front of the car, and they was trying to get on some bully, and she wasn't getting bullied. And she tried to pull off and pull up out of there. And that man was standing right there, and he was engaging her with that weapon, getting at her right there because she didn't stop or for them at all. And it's so sad that Trump and that stupid Neon girl that sat there talking about she run, whatever she run in the White House, they about to impeach her too. Because she came up and acted like just the fact that you telling me ICE agents are getting out and telling me that they finna just stop this car, but this person trying to pull off, you should have just let her pull off and got out the way. But the fact that they got out the car, trying to open up the door, trying to tell her, shut up, open up the door, do this, the fact they did that and she didn't do that, that's what made him engage. That's what made him get at her. Because at the end of the day, they trying to act like they are the authority over all of us, over everyone. And that's just period. That's how they coming. That's what they believe. And that's what Trump is trying to do. He trying to scare you. He trying to scare you out of your own rules and your own laws that are already governed to you. He gonna make up a fake police and then say they finna go around the world bullying everybody to create chaos and anarchy. So martial law can come. So you have to see what's going on here, fam. This is literally what they're doing. You hire fake, you create a fake police department. You hire guys from who knows, got every bad background, good background, police background, not even police, military background. So you got to understand, that's why the military can't be in the police areas, because they don't think the same. Their mind don't process problems the same. That's why I said, that's why Trump and them went and got those certain type of people. Because they finna die for Trump. They finna uphold unlawfulness for Trump, because the people they went and got was people that was either kicked out of the army, went through something mentally, psychologically, all of that, and still was in the army or retired. Any of that. But the fact I'm telling you is mentally, mind frame. Those people are not thinking. Those people are not thinking. They just act. And that's what military do. When you at war, they have to act. They don't have time to think. They think back there when they at home talking about what they finna go do. That's when they think. But when the military is in the field, They have no time to think. They react to actions. And that's why the military shouldn't be in the field. That is the purpose of not having the military. And let me tell you what, and listen to me right now, because this is where the confusion is about to start right here. Listen to me. Listen to me. Stop typing. Listen. This is where the confusion is about to start. They're going to use ISIS. They're going to use ICE to apprehend and engage and create the agenda and press it out. But then they're going to use the National Guard and the military, the real military and the real National Guard to defend. Let me say that again. They're using ICE to offend you, to get you to do something and get active. And then they're going to call in the National Guard and the real military to defend themselves. That's how this is about to work. This is exactly how this is about to work. You understand? Exactly. It's all for the greater good of martial law. It's all for the greater good of what they want to be done. So it will never be a situation where you think, see, I bet you ain't think that, did you? You thought it was just going to be ice, ice, baby. Too cold, ice, ice, baby. No, it ain't going to be ice, ice, baby, too cold. It's going to be ice, National Guard, military, troops, extra guards, and if more that they got the call. Yeah, that's how they're playing the game with you. You use a fake police station named ICE to implement and offend the agenda to create chaos with people. And let me tell you how I know for sure. They just unalived a white woman in broad daylight with no regard. Yeah, it's different. So if you ain't got hip to what's going on or seen what that just was, oh yeah, it was a reason why that had to be like that. Yeah, she unalive for being dumb, Callie, but see why I ain't blocked you? Because I want to hear you keep talking stupid so I can check you in the same sentence. Yeah, she can be stupid for playing them games, but she got more balls than you because she stood up to them folk. And you still talking behind cameras and typing. So think about that for a second before you talk that, run that mouth, men or women. If that white woman can stand on business and speak up against them folk, yeah, she didn't think she was going to be unalived. But it's just a fact. She stood on business. Now, what business are you really standing on? On the highway. But I don't hear nothing from you, Callie, that's making sense. Stupid ass. You just sitting there talking. But I'm letting you talk, duck. We're going to let you quack. Keep going. Because you just here to be ignorant. And I feel sorry for your kids. See, I be trying to tell y'all when y'all want to be ignorant, because you know it's ignorant humans out here that's just doing bad, just going through a lot. Theo in the building. The point I'm making is, I feel sorry for your kids. Because any ignorant person like that, that's talking about something that this real, that's really that, oh man, their kids are definitely doing bad because they're misled. You get what I'm saying? If the parent is this ignorant, then I definitely feel sorry for your kids. Yeah, I feel sorry for your kids, Callie, because you're ignorant. In a moment where life really matters, whether it's black, white, brown, green, I don't care. If a heart beating and blood pumping, what are we talking about? Any one of you in here being ignorant, I feel sorry for your kids. Because if your kids knew that you could be this ignorant, talking about a dead woman that just lost her kids and everything, unalived woman, then I feel sorry for your kids. Your kids probably retarded, slow, been through something, don't know nothing, and I feel sorry because your stupid ass ain't gonna do nothing to get them nowhere even further. That's why I feel sorry for your kids, because you shouldn't even have them. You wasted a nut. And somebody wasted a nut on you. So watch your mouth. So I make you feel real different in here real fast.
None. those that come into our communities wearing a mask to commit crime. Thank God for our district attorney, Larry Krasner, who said he's going to lock them up. And I'm saying now, we are not going to whisk you away for them to hide your identity, because when you do it there, you get arrested there. No whisk away for them to hide you. None of that here.
I get it in my teeth.
None of that here.
I got the boy got degrees.
Professionals do not shoot at moving vehicles. I'm not saying fleeing, because she wasn't fleeing. She was getting out of the way. Law enforcement professionals do not stand in front of moving vehicles invoking an action that is illegal. No, we don't. And so we stand here today with all those who stand against the made-up, fake, what you can call ICE professional law enforcement. I don't call them none of that. I call them made-up, fake, wannabe law enforcement. Because what they do is against not only legal law, but the moral law. So I'm with the DA, and we will work with them. If any of them want to come in this city and commit a crime, you will not be able to hide. Nobody will whisk you off. You don't want this smoke, because we will bring it to you. And the fake, whatever they call them.
But you see this black woman that's in power. This a black woman in power. Let me say that again. This is a black woman in power. She not holding her tongue. She don't have to. She not holding her mouth. She ain't worried about nothing. She ain't scared of nobody. Why? Because she been through it already before. She been through it. We've been seeing it. We've been slaving. We've been killed. Just like Mama K just said, that's why we're here to inform, understand, and be aware. That if it walk like a, talk like a, we know what it is. And they all up and through here in this duck hunting season. We hunting them out. Because at the end of the day, this black woman ain't scared of nothing. She gonna talk about who she wants. She gonna say what she feel. Why? Because it was wrong and that was right of her to speak up about it. Because she ain't scared of nobody and ain't worried about nobody either. And that's what I'm talking about. That's why certain people can't be in power. Because they might say something like, oh, we're going to lock them up. And if they want this smoke, they can get it too. See, you don't want to hear that on TV. You don't want to hear that on no cameras. But all of a sudden, they're going to let that play because this white woman was shot in the head. I'm trying to tell you the time we living in, man. I'm trying to tell you the time about why they doing it the way they doing it so you can really get the point in the picture. That they really want anarchy and chaos, destruction. They want to turn on martial law. They want to tell you when to go to bed. They want to tell you when to come outside. They want to tell you when to go in your house. And on that one right there, Cali, you can suck the head. So yeah, you got those type of situations that's going on in the manner of which it is happening in. But again, I'm gonna say this one more time. It was names before Renee Good. And people really think the fact that now they are unaliving white people, broad daylight. People feel like they have nowhere to turn for real. Oh, it was cool when it was just me and mine. But now that it's you and yours, oh, everybody really feel like there's no hope? Welcome to the party! Because we've been getting killed. And this is what it feels like. We've been protesting, been talking that ish, been on this. And you telling me now you tripping off this? Yeah! Welcome to the party. Pull up a seat at the table where niggas is getting killed all day. Now they off one of you and you want to sit up at the table and you want to have a... Pull up up to the table, get you a seat. Let's talk about your people getting shot in the head. By your own people. While y'all talking about black on black crime and all that, pull up to the table, catch you a seat, let's talk about it. Because now it's white on white. And what are we talking about now? And you got this black woman right here standing up for that white woman talking about what it ain't right and say her name. We ain't never felt no type of way about nobody. Everything been going against us. And now that it's her, everybody in here. And you see how my people in there with you? We ain't never tripped off nothing. We in here with you. But don't ever disrespect us again and tell us that they've been killing black people and brown, and now that they're killing whites, y'all really don't know what to do. That was disrespectful. And your mouth or your face should have been grabbed and thrown in the sea. Because any nigga I know would have picked you up and hung you like you used to do us back then. Like we don't hear what's being said. Like we don't hear that. We hear it all. The disrespect. The nerve of you motherfuckers. Don't say something like that, like we can't get to you. Like you can't be touched. Any black, brown human standing out there should have got up and threw something at that mother. Watch your mouth. Because we out here standing with y'all. Because y'all people just got hit. And we out here trying to support. But watch your mouth. Well, kick rocks, Bradley, Butcher, since you so confused. Because everybody else agree and fully understand. We've been getting hit. We've been getting unalive. We've been getting killed. And now it's y'all pull up a chair to the table and we can talk about how we've been getting hit and what it feel like now that it's y'all getting hit too. Oh, I'm sorry. Y'all think it's just supposed to be us. But now everybody get it now because it's one of y'all, somebody felt it. See, and that ain't even what this supposed to be about. But I just felt that because even in that protest, the disrespect of that white woman talking about my people like that. But yet my people out there trying to support y'all ugly ass. Watch your mouth, dog. Don't ever say nothing about my folk again while we out there trying to support y'all, dog. Period. I don't give a fuck, code 924. Take your stupid ass up out of here too. Talking about emotional arguments. Yeah, that's the problem why ain't nothing getting done because ain't nobody showing no emotion. Everybody walking around like robots, iRobots, just checking like they talking for the camera. Because in front of the camera, they never want you to show emotion. They just want you to act on things accordingly and they want you to talk business like lawyers in court. But that ain't getting nothing done. When emotion is shown, that lets you know the temperature or the degree of the level that it's on. Because if I just sit up here and be regular and be like, don't talk about my people, fam. We straight. Don't worry about us. We got y'all back. Y'all ain't have ours. Y'all wouldn't really understand where I'm coming from. So that emotion is valid. Valid. And when you're sitting there offing Hispanics, offing people outside of all of us, but yet you telling me, oh man, they been getting hit, but now we getting hit? What we gonna turn to? Life is really over because now we're getting hit. Everybody else was getting hit, but now we're getting hit. So we really don't have nowhere to go. Life is really over with. We really in the last days. Oh, I'm sorry. Now that you and your people getting hit, you realize what time we living in? Blackberry, ain't that crazy? So now y'all see what that feel like. And you talking about us black people crazy? Are we running around talking bad? We this, we that? We just mad? We emotional? We too much? But yet, they want our support. They want us to be emotional. They want us support. They want us on all this. But you talk about us like we ain't nothing, but yet you see what just happened to your people, don't you? That means anybody can get it. That's what we used to say back in the day. At our time, anybody can get it, fam. That's it. Ain't nobody, what? Spanish lady crying for this white woman's death. And this black woman telling the world to say her name. I'm going to say this one time and one time only. We in this together. I don't care who you is or what's going on. We in this together. It's men and human and women against authority. It don't matter what your color is, what your religion, your ethnic background. If you got a heart and your body pump blood, we on the same side. Hearing all this mouth about something you don't even know about.
Good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody. This is pretty. It's snow. Everybody? We're good? Everybody good? Well, good morning, everyone. We wanted to come out here and provide a situational update and make sure everybody understand both what happened in the last couple nights and also where we're going here moving forward. I wanted to acknowledge how inspired I am by so many community members that have stepped up. They've been providing food to people that have immigrated to Minneapolis. They've made sure that those that are terrified right now of the actions by ICE have support, have love, have care, are able to get to the grocery store, even childcare. The way that they have stepped up is amazing. I also want to acknowledge that the vast majority of people have protested peacefully, recognizing that I have seen community members sort of step into the breach, recognizing that there are others out there, agitators that are trying to rile up large crowds. And not only have they not taken the bait, they have pushed others back from the brink to say, hey, you know what? This is what Donald Trump wants. He wants us to take the bait. He wants those agitators to get a hold of this crowd in a way that it makes them cause harm to others and or damage to property. And so to them, I want to say my deepest thanks. We are so grateful for everything that you've been doing. And to our first responders, to our police officers, Chief O'Hara, to our firefighters, Chief Rucker, they have been working tirelessly. They have canceled all days off. They've made sure that they are out here protecting people, keeping them safe, and showing a true juxtaposition between the kind of public safety and service that we provide to our residents here at the city of Minneapolis versus what ICE is doing. And so, again, I am inspired by so many community members that have kept the peace and that are making very clear the message: we cannot take the bait. And to the few that have caused damage to property and or harm to others, need to be very clear, we're not going to let that happen. If you cause damage to property or put others in dangers, you're going to be arrested. And again, the vast majority of people have done this right. We are so deeply appreciative of them. But we have seen a few incidents last night. Those incidents are being reviewed. There were approximately 29 arrests that were made that Chief O'Hara will provide an update on.
but we wanted to, again, give sort of the overarching theme of what we're seeing, which is peaceful protest. And we wanted to say when that doesn't happen, of course, there are consequences. We are a safe city. We will not counter Donald Trump's chaos with our own brand of chaos here. We in Minneapolis are going to do this right. Chief O'Hara is going to now provide an update. Thank you, Chief, for all your work.
Good morning. My name is Brian O'Hara, BRIAN_OHARA. I am the Minneapolis Police Chief. The Minneapolis Police Department has been monitoring a number of marches and protests and other First Amendment activities over the course of the week. All of those protests and marches have remained peaceful until last night. Last night at about 7 p.m. there was a gathering outside the Canopy Hotel in downtown Minneapolis. That gathering began as all the other gatherings around hotels had been conducted over the last several days. Largely peaceful, mainly a noise protest that was occurring, trying to disrupt the activities at the hotel. Unfortunately, that changed last night. Individuals at the Canopy then began marching on Washington Avenue towards the Depot and the Renaissance Hotel. While they were there, some individuals broke off from that group, and in the rear, they caused some damage to that hotel, damage to some of the windows and some graffiti damage. They then returned to the Canopy Hotel, where the Minneapolis Police Department responded with well over 200 police officers, Minnesota State Troopers, and Minnesota DNR police officers. We initiated a plan and took our time to de-escalate the situation, issued multiple warnings declaring an unlawful assembly, and ultimately then began to move in and disperse the crowd. It was well over 1,000 individuals, we believe, that were assembled there. And as those individuals broke off from the crowd, we had some other marches that then continued downtown.
Yeah, Liz, don't worry about that. And I hate that that happened. Shout out to you, Liz. Being strong in the midst of that after that. But again, here at No Filters, hit that like button, double tap that screen, become a member today. You should become a member. You should subscribe. If you want to become a sponsor, join No Filters right now. You want to become a sponsor? You want to back us? You want to make sure this channel is receiving and reaching out and touching people? Join us right now. You can become a sponsor today. A sponsor, No Filters. But Liz, make sure that you're a member. Make sure you subscribe and make sure your notification bell is on all. Everybody in here, make sure your notification bell is on all, because we in here Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. That's it. It don't get no better than that. Let's go.
By 1 a.m., all of these individuals were either dispersed or placed under arrest. There were 29 arrests last night. We are aware
good night, Rube. Have a
one
good
police
evening.
officer
Be
that
safe.
was injured.
Lock your doors.
A chunk of ice that was thrown at them. Other than that, we are not aware of any other injuries. I just want to say I'm incredibly proud of the police officers in this town and the state law enforcement officers and all the other police that have been here with us through this. What you saw last night was a disciplined and restrained response. I think it was highly professional, and I'm thankful for the members of the community who understand our need to keep things peaceful, and I'm thankful for those officials and others that are continuing to call for peaceful protest and assembly. Obviously, there's a number of additional marches and protests that we will be monitoring today, and we are fully prepared if things cross the line and become unlawful to make additional arrests if necessary. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. We'll open it to questions.
Because we got kids, stupid ass.
Here and then here.
That's why we locking the doors. Stupid, man.
Turn it over to Chief O'Hara for a little bit more of an update. The question is, what kind of immigration enforcement are we seeing in the city? I'll start by mentioning the immigration enforcement that is taking place is not limited to Minneapolis. It's in our entire region, St. Paul, St. Louis Park, Brooklyn Center. We're seeing it in a number.
Now, this was 3 minutes before the actual shooting. get everything straight real quick, real right. You literally seen her parked parallel in the middle of the street, honking her horn, not letting traffic go down the street at all. Cars have to go around her and in the front of her. And she's literally honking the horn, making a whole song with the horn. She doing all that. So that's probably something you didn't know. So when they tell you that that's what she did before it happened, that's really what she did before it happened. She literally was disturbing the entire piece on the street. She's got a car parked a certain way. So her car was already parallel on the street that's doing this. So her car is already like this. Clearly, you see it right here. So when the police finally get out and walk up on her, and now she want to move out the way, he in the front to stop her. He walking up trying to open the door, and dude back here just looking like, I told you, get out the car. So she's wrong for stopping the entire street. Okay, so she's asking for problems now. Now she's asking ICE to come talk to her because she's parked wrong. So really, hold on, even regardless of ICE, if the regular police would have pulled up, they would have looked at her like, what are you doing, lady? Your car is parked in the middle of the street. You're not even letting cars go down the street or around. So that right there alone letting you know she want the smoke. She want problems. She want to address them, okay? Now, I can tell she was trying to get out of there, but you will also think if you're trying to cause a problem or cause a fight with fake ICE or whatever they supposed to be, you have their attention. And with their attention, they telling you, lady, get out of the street or get out of the car because you've been sitting right here for a while. And think about it. This is 3 minutes before the actual, yeah. So a whole 360 seconds. A whole 60 seconds 3 times or 4 that you just sitting there honking your horn all day. Yeah, they're going to get out and ask you what you're doing. And at this point, they're going to tell you step out the car so they can move the car over because you clearly don't want to. But then when they walk up on you, you want to drive away. So it do, or it may think you feel like she want to hit somebody because she's literally asking them to come to the car because she's doing all this law breaking. She's literally just breaking the law so she can get their attention. And then they come to the car. And now either you trying to get away from them or you really want to hit somebody as you doing what you're doing. See, that stuff y'all didn't know. I didn't know that either. I didn't know she sat there like that causing and provoking. I didn't know she provoked that. I thought she was trying to or park somewhere, trying to get out the way or trying to go where she going. And they walk up on the car like, hold up, what you doing? Stay there. No, this girl is literally parked diagonally, parallel in a street that's going the other way. And she's literally breaking the law right there. And when they walk up on her, they trying to get out the car. She's trying to now take off. So now it's like, okay, if she's trying to take off, dude shot his pistol because she's literally trying to get away from them and not abide by the rules that they're telling her to abide by. Because that's basically what has happened at this point now. She's not going to do nothing they said do. And now she's trying to get away and dude pull out his gun based off her not following directions. That's how I see that. He got mad because she didn't want to. They walked up on the car, couldn't even open it. And now you mad and now you just want to get your gun and stop her by shooting at her. Or that whole thing was planned. And I know you will probably look like we tripping, but we ain't tripping. I believe that thing was planned. Think about this. When Mike Brown passed away, they literally sent people out here to protest. They sent people out here to cause anarchy. They sent people out here to cause chaos. There were fake protesters, never lived in St. Louis, don't even know the apartment buildings, never been in the hood nor the projects. And that was in Canfield. And I literally was staying in them same apartments around that time when he got hit. I was staying right around that corner right there. Because those are 3 different sets of apartments. It's a set up here, it's a set here, and then it's Canfield. All the rest. So when I tell you, people was there that don't even belong there. Telling you that they're trying to implement chaos. And getting paid for it. So when I talk like that, I'm saying, fam, you don't know who has signed their life over, their soul over, sold their soul to Trump, all for this. You don't know what ICE had to do. Give up their life. Take the oath for them to even do or be who they want to be. Yeah, you got to sign something. You got to swear. You got to do something so they know you tied in and that you are official. So when you talking about paid agitators, Ray, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about paid protesters, paid. Life is happening. Things are going on. But people are paid for things to happen because, again, what these people believe in. So when I tell you in my right mind, and I'm being real, my right mind believes this was put together. My right mind believes that if they said that this woman was protesting and coming against this all the time, and she's always created issues or always tried to be on something against them constantly, and that this is like her 3rd time provoking and creating, you really need to look at her background to see if she just got signed up with Trump and them to be even doing it in the first place. Or you need to even look at her background even more, that if she didn't get signed up and she was literally protesting in that manner, it's wrong regardless. Because again, that's a woman. I am never thinking about grabbing my gun if a woman is not being compliant in any way. Unless she's shooting at me, trying to smack me up, beat me down. And even then, why am I grabbing a gun? I'm a man. I can strong arm you and put you down. There's no reason for me to go for my hip for no woman. Unless that woman went for her hip for me. Let me say that again. There's no reason for me to come off the hip to a woman unless a woman coming off her hip to me. That's it. So when he walked out the car and said, hey, lady, get out the car, then they try to open the door and then she trying to pull off, they should have just let her pull off and told the other police stop her. That's it. Simple stuff. So that's how I know it's a bigger agenda here. Because that right there could have been handled just like that. She want to pull off, go ahead. I try to open the door, that's fine. They're going to stop her when she get down there. And if she's stupid and hit somebody down there, she's going to get locked up, period. But this is how you know there's an agenda to this. This is how you know somebody woke up and said, hey, do this morning. We need to cause problems. That's why I just said, Rayburn, you know I ain't finna strong arm no vehicle. But again, I'm not finna stand in front of no vehicle. I'm gonna let her be stupid and I'm gonna tell the other police to stop her when she get down there, because why? You can't go no further. That's it. And even if she didn't want to stop, it was gonna be a way to stop her, but it definitely wasn't by the bullet. And if it was gonna be that, they should have shot out her tires to get her to stop moving. So when I say there is no reason, no excuse for the unaliving of Renee. Oh no, no excuse at all. I don't care about no compliant. It don't matter. You know how many women don't comply? And do you know how many black people act a certain way when police pull up from how white people act when police pull up? You ever seen that? You ever heard that? You ever even knew what that looked like? A lot of white people, they get pulled over. They feel obligated about, why did you pull me over? I want to talk to your manager, your captain, your sergeant, your lieutenant. I want to talk to the retired lieutenant from 2 years ago. I want to talk to the superintendent. I want to talk to the chief of police. I want to talk to the mayor. That's how white folk act when they get pulled over, fam. And I'm just being 100. We're going to keep it a dip. We're going to keep it real. So when I say that's real, that's real. That's how they act, fam. We ain't doing none of that. Police pull us over. We got to sit here like, yes, officer. What you need? It's in the glove compartment. Can I go to the glove compartment and get it? Oh, well, that's in my armrest. Can I get out the armrest? Like, this is what we got to do. We got to straight do this and be like, can we get this? Can we do that? Can this be right here? Can I move that? Can I open my door? Can I just... Because we got to do this. We got to do hands up, don't shoot. Y'all can sit there and be like, oh, why you pull me over? You got me messed up. I want everybody's name. I want everybody's badge number. I want everybody. What? I want everybody. That's how y'all act. The nerve of you. So now I bet you better, I bet that didn't woke you up. Ain't no more the nerve of them, Chris. I bet you ain't got no more or no obligation on your mind now. Because even though that's ICE, they still represent authority. So that makes you feel like the police will do you like that, like they did we. It don't matter what problems that we make, Frank. It's the way that the authority is handled with us in those problems. You done had problems in your life, brother. Things we don't know about. So when we talk about whether you brought the problem on or the problem presents itself, it's still a way that it should be handled the right way. It don't matter what you're saying. I don't care how problems are come. At the end of the day, there should be a civil way of handling problems with the law, or with the law handling problems with you that you caused or someone else. All right, now you got to go, Brad, because you said this guy has a bad kid or something. I was finna say something to you, boy, that messed up my channel. Go ahead, partner. Get up out of here. So like I say, man, it's different, fam. Hit that like button, subscribe right now. I wanted you all to see this 3 minutes of how she was acting before this happened. And that's not a blow on her, but it is a blow on people to know you can't act like that and think they won't pull up on you. I'm not saying that they should have shot her, but there's no way you sitting there breaking total law right there and then you trying to escape. And that's fine, you can escape. It don't mean it's right though to shoot that woman. It don't matter. You could have told her, go on ahead. You should have just let her go on about her business and told them stop that car down the street. Now look at this, look at this, look at this. This is her car. Now there go the truck right there. Okay, now, as you looking at this scene right now, check this out. Just look at this scene right quick. Just look at this scene. She's parked already in the middle of the streets. That white truck you see right there, that's ICE. As you can see, another ICE agent is right here already asking this lady to leave or move. Now, as these two ICE trucks pull up, she's actually finally moving out the way now. You see what I'm saying? She's finally moving out the way now, okay? So as you can see, she finally bagged up. Before this, she literally was parked parallel in the street just like this as my hand is, blocking all traffic. For who knows? White truck pull up, they pull up, she bagging out a little bit. Let's go. She letting them go, she pointing to him. Here comes another one right here. He go. And then look, and then that go right there. Now, trip off this. She is literally telling this agent to go, and then another agent to go, because those are agent cars. And then when this agent pull up, they like, hold up, why we not finna go around you? We finna go through you, because that's the way we need to be going. What are you doing? So it's by all means right for them to stop, because other police was just pulling off like they scared. Like they letting this lady park parallel and telling, like she directing traffic like, hey, go around me, like she just gonna stay there all day. No, man, that ain't realistic. That ain't right. So this the truck that pulled up and got active. They pulled up like, hold up, because you see her bagging up. Let's take it back one more time. Look at all these cars right here. She let one go. Look at that. She let the white truck go. And then she told the other truck to go. Look at that. She let that truck, look at that. She was gonna pull out, pull back in. She let them go. And then she telling them to go around. Now, she telling them to go around. You see that? She telling this truck, the ICE truck, another ICE truck, agent truck, to go around because she finna pull back where she was at, like she running the street. Trip off this. They hop out like, hold up, what you doing? You need to get out the street. He walk up and do that, open the door. Okay, now they said ICE vehicles.
How quick people can choke on their own words when reality smacks them right in the mouth. Let's take a trip down memory lane real quick, shall we? Because when it was Ashley Babbitt, the script was already written, right? Oh, she got what she deserved. No sympathy, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, then Trump jokes after an assassination attempt. They shouldn't have missed. Crowd laughs, memes, then Charlie Kirk, protect your neck, singing, cheering, vibes immaculate. Halloween costumes, violence is funny then, huh? Death is comedy when it's politically convenient. But now a new POV drops instead of Twitter theories. Not spin, not vibes, actual fucking video of what went down. Irrefutable POV. And suddenly it's, whoa, let's slow down. Let's wait for the facts. Let's not jump to conclusions. Out of here. Don't laugh about bullets when it's your enemy, and then cry about due process when it's your team. You don't meme someone's death one year and then demand compassion the next, like it's a morality light switch. That's the double standard bullshit we're talking about. And lump Jasmine Crockett's ass into that shit too, with them fake ass crocodile tears dripping from them umbrellas on her face. Is the woman dead? Yeah, that shit sucks. Do I feel bad? No. Oh, well, how can you say that? With my mouth. Oh, well, she had kids. Did she? Then her ass should have been at home, not in the streets agitating people. Sucks she lost her life, but I feel bad for the dog. Shot by the same federal agent that Jacob Frey claims wasn't injured. And instead of consistency, all we got was spin, excuses, and silence from the same people who told everyone to shut up and accept it when the roles were reversed.
Right.
If violence is justified sometimes, then you don't actually believe in justice, you believe in power. And when that power points a gun at your side, suddenly it's not funny anymore, right? Suddenly you don't like jokes about missing. Suddenly singing about protecting your neck feels real and personal. Funny how that shit works.
Right.
The fake outrage, the selective empathy. Not so funny when you're getting your face blown off anymore, is it? If you cheered death before, keep that same energy now. And if you're uncomfortable all of a sudden, good. That's called consequences. No apologies.
As a lifelong Minneapolis resident, I just want to come on here and say, I'm sorry. I am so sorry that everyone in my state is so I'm exhausted of it too. How do you think the rest of us here feel? Believe it or not, most of us here in Minnesota aren't psychotic liberals. We just want our state back. We just want the state and the city of Minneapolis and the Twin Cities that we knew and loved growing up. We just want that back. But these absolutely insane liberals, these communists, they are literally communists, have taken over everything. Do you know how embarrassing it is to say that I'm from Minneapolis? Because the only time that Minneapolis is ever in the news is because of something awful. Whether it was COVID snitch lines or the George Floyd riots or that incident that happened at the Catholic school, obviously the Somalian fraudster, and now of course, the incident with ICE. I am ashamed to be from here. I am ashamed, okay? Especially because it didn't always used to be this way. So I'm actually coming on here and begging. I am begging for prayers at this point for my hometown. I'm so tired, y'all. We are so tired. Please pray for us.
I just want to get this straight here. Laken Riley was attacked and assaulted to death so badly that her skull was caved in and she wasn't even recognizable. Jocelyn Nungare was 12 years old when she was strangled to death under a bridge. Rachel Morin was also a 37-year-old mom when she was attacked to death and left beside a jogging trail, all by illegal aliens who shouldn't have even been in this country in the first place. And there were no protests for them. The left didn't care. The media didn't care. Democrats wouldn't even stand up in Congress for their names. But y'all will gather by the thousands and stomp through the streets after a woman by ICE after it looks like she hit one of them with her car. Look, I don't want to see a woman in her car, but she did because she was out in the street in a city she didn't even live in, LARPing like she was the hero in Schindler's List. This is not a video game. You're not playing Call of Duty and killing Nazis. Illegal immigration has an actual effect on this country. Consequences on crime, on housing, on our job market, on our economy, and on our highway safety. It is not your stage on which to play hero just because you're a first world white woman with nothing better to do with your time who wants to feel so desperately like you're a part of something. Immigration officers are not the bad guys. The bad guys are the drug dealers and the human traffickers and the criminals who children and women and leave them beside hiking trails. And if liberals had any sense whatsoever, that's what they would be upset about.
Let's be honest, we all know an aggressive ass bitch like Renee's widow. You know, the type of stud that takes on women with multiple children and custody issues because they don't care if the woman is immoral. They're studs. They only care that they get a woman because studs have a... How do y'all even get pleasure? Do y'all use the strap-ons too? You know, I don't even care. But these studs be walking around so angry, riled up, and frustrated because they walk and talk like the thing that they hate. This type of stud gets really aggressive with men. They have a big problem with men with authority. Ask any club bouncer. Show your face, big boy. We don't change our plates so they'll be the same when you come talk to us later. U.S. citizen, former fucking veteran, disabled veteran. You wanna come at us? I say you go ahead and get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead. So then one of the officers tells y'all to get out of the car. And this is the last thing your wife heard you say.
Drive, baby. Drive, drive, drive.
Two dumb bitches making terrible decisions for each other. And what about them damn children? Are you gonna take care of her damn kids? Are you gonna be a mommy to those kids that don't have a mommy anymore? And what about the 6-year-old? The 6-year-old just lost his father, and now he done lost his mother, because you said
drive, baby, drive.
See what I'm saying? And it's because of that right there that we making points about what's really going on and why we really got to put eyes on it. Because at the end of the day, we're here to understand, we're here to inform, and we're here to be aware that this activity right here is nothing but duck season. And we looking for the loudest quackers. As always, fam, you know what the level is. Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. with your boy Dilla T here with my family. Truly appreciate each and every one of y'all pulling up and pulling in, making sure that they get this message out further and far for people to understand that we bringing light to darkness, that we're here to inform, understand, and be aware. That if it walk like a duck, quack like a duck, it's a duck. And this is duck season, and this is duck hunt season. And we coming after all quackers. As always, fam, I truly appreciate you just taking time, tuning in, making sure that you hit that like button, subscribe, making sure that you become a member, and for you to join and become a sponsor today. Making sure that your notification bell is on all, and making sure that you pull up rows when you get a chance. As always, fam, you know I love each and every one of you all taking time out to just tune in and make sure that we want to make sure that we family members and that we checking on each other. Because at the end of the day, all we got is us. And at the end of the day, we all we got, regardless. As always, fam, making sure that when you come in, you get you something to eat. You get you something to drink. You get you something to smoke if that's what you do. Because you see the title, fam. You in here with your boy Dilla T and my fam. And this is No Filters. Always be safe. You all have a good night. God bless.